I actually visited my favorite 100 views of Edo drawn by Hiroshige Ando and what the scene is like now. Yatsukoji in the brace of 009 is a bird's eye view of Kanda Mitsuke and Yushima Shrine from the sky above the old Nakasendo on the north side of the current Yasukuni Dori and Dori Sudacho intersection. This is the place where the gate of Kanda Mitsuke was located inside the north of the outer shell of Edo Castle, and the shogunate created a plaza here as a fire protection area to prevent the spread of fire. Here, the road from Nihonbashi and the road from Hongo and Shimotani to Kanda intersected, so I called it bracing. Actually, there were more than 10 highways such as Ukiyo-e, Nikko Kaido, Nakasendo, and Koshu Kaido, but they were called Yatsukoji. In this case, 8 is used not to mean 8 roads, but to mean many. Therefore, the title of this picture is Inside Sujichigai Gate at Yatsukoji. Let's take a closer look at the picture. On the upper and right sides of the picture, a hexagonal pattern is used in the shape of colored paper, which seems to be a feature of the first printing of this Edo 100 series. Below that, the total guardian of Edo, Kanda Mitsuke, is drawn. Seen from Edo Castle, it is exactly the position of the Kitainaman. To the left is the forest of Shueizakugaku Mansho. This is an educational institution under the direct control of the shogunate, also known as Shohyakuo. It is now Yushima Seido. Below the red Genji cloud is the Kanda River, but around this time, the shogunate, which was stimulated by the arrival of foreign ships and the modern armament of the great powers, established a martial arts training institution called Kubusho. I made it around here. Therefore, it is said that Hiroshige, who avoided pointing out from the shogunate, intentionally blurred its existence. In the middle, the Kanda River is beyond the green bank where willows and pine trees are planted. On the left, you can see that the Tsuyu-bansho, which was guarding the 8 alleys, is lit. It is said that the 8 alleys at that time were busy and the bansho was open even at night. There is a kido behind it, and if you go to the right, you can cross the Shohei Bridge and go to Shueizakugaku Mansho and Kanda Mitsuke. The tip of Kanda Mitsuke is Nakasendo, which leads to the current Hongo Senko. Hiroshige seems to have drawn a lot of people such as samurai, carpenters, apprentices, and paddlers of balance poles on the 8 alleys, but the white areas are also left to show the size of this place. In particular, in Kanda Chuo on the left side of the screen of this 8 alley, greenery dealers have been gathering since the early 17th century, Kaicho era, so the balance pole may be a vegetable peddler. To the right of the bottom of the screen, there is a street gate, although it is not drawn. To the left of it, there is a step that seems to be a daimyo procession that goes through the gate and heads toward Kanda Gomon and the Akuruwanai. From the non-felt baskets and staff, it seems that the noblewoman is returning to Edo Castle. The hanging tea house is drawn in the lower right. A lot of people gather in the open space like a fire protection area, so it must have been prosperous. Let's see from the old map where this place is actually. The Kanda River crosses blue from left to right. You can see Suidobashi on the left, Ryogoku Bridge on the lower right, and Shinabazu Pond and Uno Park in the upper center. I put a red gradation on the point of view here. I also put a modern map on it. Well, I went to see what this place is actually like now. The viewpoint is low and it is surrounded by buildings, but this is the view of Kanda Mitsuke and Yushima Seido. It is a view looking toward Kanda Station on the back side. After merging with Dori, you will head to Ginza via Nihonbashi. On the right side of the viewpoint, the former Transportation Museum is on the left side, and it is now Sumitomo Realty and Development Kanda No. 1 building. The guard you can see is the center line. On the left side of the viewpoint, merge with Yasukuni Dori, pass through Jimbocho, and head toward Yasukuni Shrine on the 9th Dan. On the right side of the road is Masuya, a famous soba restaurant. In this corner, Kanda Wajicho was a slightly burned area even during the bombing of Tokyo during World War II, and there are still many old-fashioned roads, buildings, and long-established restaurants. Ankunabi's Izujin, chicken dish peony, Kanda soba rebuilt by fire, especially this Ashiraku, Takemura still uses a very tasteful building. Eventually, in the Meiji era, the private railway Kobu Railway, now the JR Chuo line, opened Manseibashi Station in 1912, Meiji 45, near the Muscle Gate at the bottom right of the picture. This 8-alley was used as a station square, and streetcars gathered there, and it developed into one of the best downtown areas in Tokyo. Manseibashi Station is a high-rise building made of red brick designed by Tatsuno Kingo, like Tokyo Station, and it still retains its remnants under the railroad tracks. In 2013, Heisei 25, the remains of the old Manseibashi Station were improved and reborn as a facility called MAACH Acute Kanda Manseibashi. Actually, in the photo, the viewpoint is low, so I relied on the photo of Google Map. The green of Kanda Myojin can be seen slightly between the white Sumitomo Realty and Development Kanda No. 1 building on the right and the blue Sumitomo Realty and Development Kanda No. 2 building on the left. The track you can see in the foreground is the JR Chuo line, and the one behind is the JR Sobu line. I will overlay Hiroshige's picture on this. In addition, I overlaid modern photographs. It's a very uninteresting picture of a building. The above is the modern appearance of inside Sujichigai Gate at Yatsukoji.